Two Worlds, One Family by Dragon Translator. Chapter 26. I do see ya. Hiccup spun. The male gronkle that had been at Gida's landed with Stoic and Gobber on its back. The dragons dismounted, and Hiccup frowned. The gronkle walked as if he was drunk too many tankards of mead for a few steps and then crashed next to a tree. Stoic stepped through the open doorway and walked over to Hiccup. He knelt down, placing one hand upon Hiccup's free shoulder. I never intended for you to feel as if you had to do all of this, son. I told Bucket to paint you strong, because you are the strongest of all of us. I never intended for you to look like Snortlout. I never intended for you to feel like I prefer that over you. You're a Hiccup. You're my son, and your strength comes from your heart and your mind. I do see that, son. I do see you. Hiccup wrapped his arms as far around his father as he could. Sharpshot hopped down, and Stoic hugged Hiccup, picking him up slightly. Can't breathe, Hiccup gasped out. Oh, sorry, son, Stoic said, sitting Hiccup back down. He placed both hands upon Hiccup's shoulders, before Sharpshot could resume his spot. When we get back, I'll get Bucket to repaint the shield. Hiccup smiled. Thanks, Dad. Stoic looked around and whistled. So you found it? Stoic looked back at Hiccup. If anyone could, I knew it'd be you, son. Only one smart enough to end a 300-year war could. Oh, by the way, he added, standing and turning to gesture to the gronkle. I know you're looking for names for the dragons. Well, his name is Boulder. Hiccup blinked. But that's the class he's in, Dad. I know, son, but he put the Boulder in Boulder class. Stubborn dragons worse than any Viking I know of, and that includes you. Hiccup looked over at Toothless, who just lifted and lowered his wings like Shadowfire did at times. Sharpshot crawled up onto Hiccup's back. That rock-biter looks like he's going to expel his last meal at any minute, the terror whispered. Hiccup looked around his father and walked over to the gronkle. He knelt beside him, holding his palm out and turning his gaze. Warm scales pressed into his hand and then slid out. Hiccup sat down fully beside the dragon. Astrid, Toothless and Stormfly joined him. Toothless and Stormfly slowly flapped one wing each, providing a cool breeze to flow over the gronkle. Forgive me, Alpha, the gronkle whispered. Your father is not versed in reading the wind. You okay? I will be, Alpha. Can I never fly your father ever again, please? Hiccup glanced over, finding his father and Gobber looking over the treasure. Hiccup turned back to the gronkle. How did you end up flying him now? I came to your wood dens to speak to Meatlug, and he and the other male asked if me could help come find you. We have looked for you all over until we had rocks falling in this place. Your father decided to investigate because he knows this place is sacred to you and Protector. I'm so sorry, Hiccup whispered. If I had not tried to solve this map, he would never have had any reason to ask for your help. I don't mind helping the nest, Alpha. Your father just doesn't trust me to fly and tried to direct me against the winds. Oh, sorry. He's used to ordering everyone and they doing as he says. The gronkle laughed. He is an alpha in his own right. The gronkle nuzzled against Hiccup. Thank you for learning about us dragons before ordering us about. Hiccup reached over and scratched the base of the gronkle's closest ear. I'll also find a different name for you, he whispered. I actually don't mind the name, Alpha. My mother often said my head was as hard as the rocks we ate, so it reminds me of her. You're sure? I'm sure. Can your father fly with another dragon back to your wood dens? Hiccup laughed, hearing Astrid snicker softly. Sure, Hiccup whispered. Thank you, Alpha. Hiccup, Gobber said. We may need that net you made from the ship tethers to haul all of this. Hiccup glanced at Astrid. She smiled, reaching over and squeezing his hand. She then mounted Stormfly. Stormfly took off with a screech, and soon was a speck in the distance. Hiccup turned back, finding Snortlout and the twins looking over the treasure under Gobble's watchful eye. He looked near to the stone bridge to find his father staring down at Gyda. Shadowfire had his head between the two and was not letting Stoic any closer. Hiccup jumped to his feet and rushed over. "Lass," Stoic said, "you almost crossed the line today." Gyda's eyes narrowed. "Your son is my liege lord. I will defend him with my life."
"And I am grateful for that. But I will not be disrespected in my own great hall."
Shadowfire curled his neck, staring up at Stoic. He then opened his mouth, but Gyda placed a hand upon his neck. "No, son, the chief is right. I did disrespect him. I let my anger over his actions run my mouth, and I shouldn't have. We are not in our cave anymore."
"But he should never have disrespected the Elfer again, Mum."
"His wrong actions does not mean I should act wrong myself, son." Gyda stared at Stoic. "I apologize, chief." Stoic stared at her for a long moment, and then sighed.
"And I apologize as well. You were right to call me out for what I did. It was wrong."
Stoic looked over at Hiccup.
"I made a promise while you were recovering, son. And I broke that promise with that shield and my reaction to it."
Stoic placed a hand upon Hiccup's free shoulder.
"Never again, son. Your strength is not like other Vikings, and that's perfectly fine. Our shield should reflect who we are. Who we both are."
"Thanks, Dad," Hiccup said, smiling, and then looked at Shadowfire. "Take your mother to the Hoffersons," he said. "She needs rest. We'll handle this." Shadowfire bowed before lowering himself so Gyda could climb into the saddle. He then walked around Stoic and Hiccup and made his way out of the cavern. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that one. A lovely short one, that one. But I also just like it. Stoic owning up to what he did, and he and Gyda settling their points. That bit with the Gronkle was funny. Poor Boulder. Poor guy, I think he needs a nice bit of cold water and a rest. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified for whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, gals, and non-binary pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.